Hello, 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 hello. Um, First thing I want to say is just because I don't say anything about the things that you are doing doesn't mean I don't see you. It doesn't mean I ain't watching you. I'm just waiting on the perfect time to let you know everything that I have seen. My teacher taught me well. So I just want to begin off with that. So my talk gonna be today because this morning I woke up and it looked like rain today. And I thought about this one day. There was a storm and it happened right before I came home from school. So it was like, you know, in the black community, you used to your grandma them having all the lights and everything off. And it's like when you walk in the house, everything looked the same. Look abnormal, especially after it been raining or any of that good old stuff. You know, they're gonna um they're gonna not have on any lights or anything like that for you to um you know due to the thunderstorm. Y'all know how it go. Um, so I walked in the house. Um, and everything was very normal except for that man that my mama was with, that other lady's husband, he was there. That was the only unusual thing. And I was like, I guess he got home early because it rained or something. I don't know. So I went on and sat down and started doing my homework and everything. And he like, oh yeah, and this was also on that day when he was using his move saying, I can see dead people. I seen your grandma today. And he knowing that I had just lost my grandma, that would take me somewhere. But see, this somebody who older than my mama. So I feel like he done played the game enough times so he know how to manipulate and say little certain things and get my mama to go along the game for lack of not knowing. But and I'm just gonna say for those of y'all in the chat that don't know, I don't respond to the chat usually because it's a distraction. My mind already be going 100 different ways. But I appreciate you all. Um, Sorry about that. Anyways, he telling me he can see my grandma in front of me, and she got a blue dress on, and I talked about that in another video, so that's gonna lead me to a whole nother place. So I'm just gonna say, on that day he was doing those things, which is also can be classified as a way of grooming. So I'm going along with, you know, doing my homework or whatever. I'm hearing what he says, and I'm like, I'm only 14 at best at this time. Now, there's a man that done told me, you know, yeah. Anyway, he done told me he can see my grandma and all of this stuff. And you have to go back and hear the other stories and understand why I pause and take a deep breath. I'm learning to pause and take a deep breath and try to stay on task of what I'm talking about, because I got a million stories stuck in my head. But I'm sitting there as a distraction, and I'm doing my homework and hadn't really been around the house, no nothing. I'm just doing my homework, just chilling. And after a while, it started to turn like dark outside. It wasn't dark, but it was cloudy because it was raining. I need to turn on a light to be able to see, to finish my homework. There is no light. Now I'm thinking that maybe the lights is off because, you know, lightning came, storm came, whatever. No, it began to get later and later, and you can look out the window and you can see everybody got lights except for us. And at this moment, this married man done been living inside my mama house with us maybe about 3 months at this time. And I'm thinking, damn, both of them working. And I'm thinking about it in my adult mind, thinking about it then. I was like, hey, now my mama got some help. Finding out later an experience that I had never had up to that point. Because remember, before said married man came along, my mama had Section 8. She was working. We had our own nice place. Now we done moved over here with these people. And we got a house full of folks over here. and somebody's married man over here, and we ain't got no lights. What idea that married man came up with was for him to go and get a car battery from out my mama car and hook a piece of wire to it and then hook the wire onto a light bulb. If I can remember, that's the way that it went. And he put some electrical tape or something around the bottom of it. I don't know. I might be helping somebody out with that information. Grab what you need, leave the rest. But that's how we had power in our house with that one light bulb, with a whole married man in the house. And remember, I'm an adult now. I was 13 years old back then. So I was a little confused back then. And I didn't ask no question as a kid. I had turned what was lemons into lemonade because after a couple of days, it was exciting being able to tote a hot candle around in and out the bathroom. But even as I'm talking about it right now, it's like coming from where they came from. Nobody saw anything wrong with a child carrying a hot candle, but it was, thinking back on it, it was very exciting. But living in that time and looking at it as an adult, why even settle for that? Why? And because I look back at those things and I'm just like, even though all of this stuff was happening, I took all of that stuff and I turned it into something else. Nope, it's not gonna happen to me. I won't raise a kid that think that that's okay. I wouldn't raise a son to think that you can sit around and fail your kids in that way. I wouldn't. But again, he made it a fun and a game. And absolutely, I learned a lot from paying attention to him. But I paid a lot for him and my mama's actions. And just looking back at it as an adult, it was like, dang, And right now, I'm just thinking about it. Later on, I'm going to talk about, I found out much later that my mom was adopted. Yeah, so when I'm talking about one part of it, like it's a whole bunch of different things, and it's like, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I can see how I walk right into it, but by God's grace, I was able to run away from it. And the thought of the title that I named this, it's just one of the episodes of, it's like, if you got a married man and he can't even help you keep your lights on, what the hell you need him for? What do you need him for? And to think about that, what do you need any man for that's living in your house that can't or won't? Mm-mm. Nope. And I can see how somebody could fall into it because it could have been me. It could have been. Whew. And I just thank God He ain't allowed me to go down none of those lines. But it could have been me. Um, I'm gonna read into the chat because I can go on and on about this. But good morning, Melanie Williams. Good morning, Katie Holland. Um, Tammy McGee. Good morning. Hello to Shauna from Hogansville, Georgia. You are a straight first. You are a straightforward person. God bless you and your family. Yes, thank you so much for that. I try to be. I try to be a straightforward person. And good morning, Anita. Oh, sorry. I try to be a straightforward person. In everything um that I talk on, and it's just hitting me now, all of this stuff that I went through and all of the different stories and everything. And what a way to, before I started talking to the world or anybody else about this situation, the first people that I talked to were um, the children that came out of this situation. I've told them they don't have to say anything. This is not their story. This is my story. They lived in this story. So I don't have to tell them anything. All they have to do is go back in their mind and they can remember the very day that it happened. My memory is so vivid. I can name the clothes and everything. I can name the way a person had their hair on that day when something happened to me. Now some days I wish that memory ain't nothing like that. But they're the first people that I told about this stuff. And my first thing to them was what our mom did was wrong. How could I tell them anything different? Because I'm married. I'm married. I could understand how this lady could be upset at mom. I've been there to see this lady upset at my mom. So I had to be honest with them first. But then this lady at some point saw a key to a world she never had before, which was the inside scoop of what was happening inside of my mama's house once she gained access to the kids. But you know, with being big sister slash mama, the kids just naturally ask you questions, and you don't have to ask a whole lot of a kid if you just pay attention to what they saying. Just pay attention to what they saying in the conversation you have. So after the kids say what they want, because I don't be questioning kids like that with grown people stuff. I just don't. After they gain access to those kids, she was asking questions of the kids that she should not have been asking of the kids. It should have been a conversation with her husband. So I couldn't be honest with them then. But all parties involved are very grown and they have been manipulating the story to make it like I was the bad guy. I couldn't wait until her children and my mom's children became full grown adults and me inside of myself becoming a full grown adult in many different ways. I have to tell God's honest truth. Whether it was my mom, if it was me, whatever. But I just figure you got to start from the beginning and work your way up. And the only way you going to get up is by telling the truth. And so that's what I know. I know lies don't work. So, Tammy McGee, that just made me go down a whole line of a whole bunch of stuff that I probably wasn't ready to even touch on. And I touched on it just a little bit, I think. Good morning, Anita F. Um, all about her territory and the transparent testimony. All right now. Good morning. Your channel has grown tremendously. Yes, it really has. Unexpectedly to me. So, and just to speak on that a little bit, I do a lot of and because I'm used to having conversations with people and having like a talk with them. So I do better when I'm asked questions, but sometimes a story pop up in my mind as I'm moving about my day of reality. And again, I didn't apologize for being late, but real life around here happens. Um, but yeah, without having someone ask questions, which I absolutely love, respectfully. Um, I'm trying to get used to coming on live and talking to the screen. So, and reminding myself I'm really not talking to the screen, I'm talking to a lot of people. And so, where I'm very comfortable with talking to people one on one, um, I'm being called at a different level. That is not, it's not that comfortable. I'll be honest and say that it's not that comfortable yet. But we'll talk about it later. But yes, the my channel has grown tremendously. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my people coming through and supporting me, which means to me that there's a lot of people going through a lot of the stuff that I've gone through. And no, I don't have this calm, nice voice all the time. I get mad about things too. And I've been working on them for a long time. Um, but yes, thank you for noticing, and which means you've been around a little bit. Um, good morning. Good morning to you, Mocha. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Blessings to you all. So all about her territory. I just love that part. All about her territory and the transparent testimony. Okay. I love that. But yeah, I just came on to, speak a little bit about some of the things that I went through. You're welcome. Thank you for coming through. Um to speak on a little bit of those things. And I be trying not to go outside of a lot of those things, outside of the story that I want to tell. Because, honey, I can be here all day long talking about all the different things that I have. But yeah, there's no need for you to have nobody. If you know the power off, why is you? Why is you the one sitting up in the house before my mom even get home from work with the lights off? Shoot, shouldn't you be somewhere trying to figure out how to get these lights back on? And that's my mentality thinking back on these stories. Hey VS, how you doing this morning? Oh, that's so sweet. This my sister. This VS is a sister. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Real talk, real talk. Um, but Jesus Christ. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody? Just give me a question in the chat because my mind going 1,000 miles per hour about just even touching on any of these stories. Just give me a question in the chat. Ooh, nobody ain't got no question. Alrighty then. We just listened to the roosters and everything, Crow. Are you telling your stories? Ooh, are you telling your stories giving you peace? Absolutely. Me telling my stories are absolutely giving me peace. Because a lot of people don't know that before I come on here and I talk about anything, I'm a person that replays stories over and over again in my mind because I want to make sure that I ain't stepping on anybody's toes and have to remind myself, how you stepping on anybody's toes? This is your story. This is a story about you. But yes, it's it gives me peace because before I come on here and release it, it done already caused hell in my mind because these people have always made me feel like I'm the one that caused all of the problems, all of the situations. So yes, I'm able to release it, and yeah, I'm yes, it gives me peace. That's let me stay on task. Or is it fueling the fire? Hmm. That could work both ways. Um, yeah, it could work, it could work both ways. But I don't think it should fuel any fires when you've been able to tell whatever story you've wanted to tell with no consideration for me. And now I get to tell the story, which is my truth, about what I saw and what I heard and what I was there to see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears that God gave me. So if it is fueling the fire, I've been known to throw some gasoline and burn off my own eyebrows and eyelashes and nose hair before. So why not let somebody else feel a little bit of the heat? Maybe. But intentionally no. I'm not I don't want to fuel. I don't want to fuel a fire. But I'm gonna tell my truth and I'm gonna stand in it. That's absolutely what I'm gonna do. Um Everybody else been able to tell their story. It's just time for me to be able to tell mine now. Whether you like it or love it. And if you don't, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna tell my story though. Um, Life calls, and until next time, whatever story come up, that's what my next episode will be about. I want to tell the story about that barbecue grill, always conveniently showing up when there's no food in the house. Man, I got millions upon millions of stories. But remember, y'all made me the bad guy. Now I get to stand in front of the court and tell my side of the story. Fueling the fire. Hey, she the rabbit with the gun. Nah, yes, yes, I do. I am the rabbit. She was the rabbit with, and now she got the gun. Yep, in a whole lot of different ways. Hey, a spiritual. I don't want to be butchering nobody's name. Um, is your family comfortable with the stories? Um, I wouldn't say all of them are comfortable. And to be honest with you, I've thought about everybody's comfortability, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not, y'all understand. Um, I can see just in everyday life that not all of them are, but I've been so interested in making everybody else comfortable. And even though they are uncomfortable with me telling my story, the other side has been able to tell some of these people that are uncomfortable their way or their version of what happens. And they hold a very sacred place. They hold a very sacred place in the person who I feel is the most uncomfortable because they had her access to her at a younger age. So um there are some people that are uncomfortable, but I feel like if she's an adult now, she can hear me out and she can take and compare what she saw with her own eyes and ears. Anybody who is comfortable or uncomfortable about it, I have to be able to tell my truth. So, yes, if they are, do you think they are being truthful? Um, I feel like I have some people who are telling me that they are comfortable, but they're not really comfortable, and I can understand that. But I've also told them that you don't have to agree, you don't have to say anything because me telling my story don't have anything to do with you. And the conversations that we were having would be all conversations that I always had with them forever and a day. Why would they switch it up? Because now they done came in contact with those people. So no, they're all grown. And do you think they are being truthful? Um, because it may cause them to be triggered. Um, yeah, that's a and for a lack of a better words, if we was sitting up in the household and we was having this conversation, that word triggered is like that that shit go out the window. Nobody don't hear nothing about no triggered word in that. I just have to be straightforward and I just be like, I don't care. And I don't care that somebody is triggered with my truth. And the only thing is see, I can take them in memory back down the line of that day. I'm so good at telling the stories, but I'm not being vicious when I tell the story about what happened. They can remember that day of everything that was happening then. So would I purposely trigger them? Absolutely not. But just being honest at the time, it's like and I no, and I wouldn't say I don't care that I do trigger them. That would be wrong for me to say, because I do absolutely think about whether I trigger them. But I'm being honest, and the truth, shall set you free. That's what I believe. So good morning. Ooh, I'm good morning, all hands. Pink wave. Oh, okay. I'm reading the thing. Good morning, Miss Coffee. How all is well, trying to work. How are you today? Thank you for answering and being transparent. You are very welcome. VS, everyone has the right to agree to disagree. When one communicates their truth, it's uncomfortable for those that were involved, no matter what. And that's true. And the thing is I do this is because people think that kids forget stuff when they growing up. It's like, no, you don't forget those things that be happening, and one day they gonna tell your story, whatever it is, no matter how you say, what go on in this house should stay in this house. I don't give a dang what you saying. Whatever happened in your house, your kids are going to talk to a friend about it. It may not all be honest, may not all be true, but it's some truth to whatever they saying that happened there. They gonna tell somebody about what happened in your house, and you keep on having that illusion that what go on this in this house should stay in this house. You keep having that illusion that yeah, you keep having that illusion of what goes on in this house stays in this house. If you want to, it ain't gonna happen. No, somebody gonna tell somebody, and it's gonna get out. So, um, yep. So it's just my truth is my truth. And yes, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable for some of them, but mm, I promise I ain't got no reason to be lying on nobody. But they all been they've been moving about and freely lying on me. So, and now that my sisters and brother them is they're all adults now, we can communicate as adults. They're not little children anymore that I can't talk to. Um do you feel triggered again after telling some stories and seeing some of the people that are still alive? I do not get triggered. It's just now I've never been able to feel sadness before. I've never been able to cry in front of anyone before. So I'm going through like a time in my life where like that's being like stripped of me. Even just to touch on it. Um my voice even gets shaky when I think about crying. I hate doing it. But I was raised that way. If you somewhere crying about something, look at you. You sitting over there just crying about, I don't know, that's so stupid. You sitting over there crying about this, you crying about that. So after a while you beat down with that. You don't get to cry about everything and you just move through life. I'm a superhero. I'm strong. And yes, I'm strong in a whole lot of ways. A lot of them. I wouldn't necessarily call it trigger, but I've never been able to feel the sadness of that little girl not being able to express herself. spiritual. I I haven't seen any of these people since I've been in the process that I'm going through right now. I've seen them a while back, a long time ago, but I was still in my like friendly stage. Smile at everybody, be nice to everybody. Um my mom dying broke a lot of chains for me. Broke a lot of dams for me. The floodgates. A lot of pressure was added to me. And you know what they say? Pressure bust pipes. So I hadn't saw people that these stories are coming up around in the things that happen in my life. I haven't seen anybody since I'm in the place that I'm in right now. And I've always questioned and say, how do you know if you've forgiven somebody if you don't come across them or you don't hear from them or know nothing? So there's a story that I talked about the other day. I heard the voice. I heard the voice of a person that did something to me back in the days. So those kind of moments trigger just a little bit. Um, but they don't win because, like I said, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And by the way, more people coming out the woodworks with those stories. When I get triggered, I also think about the people who I done helped, even if I do get triggered by telling my story. Because, boy, you just don't even know how many people got relief from me telling that story that come from the same place I come from. Hmm. Thinking about it later on in life, I know I can't be the only one. Mm-mm. Can't be the only one. Hmm. And most of them that did stuff, they are still alive. Hi, Lori. Keep speaking your truth, sis. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much. I am going to as much as possible. Hey, Cassie, you. Yes, over here we are the Cassie. You remind me of that every time. What we is we the high class gardeners over here, cause and that means that we go out and garden and we'll grow the food and everything. But when it come down to the bugs and the worms and all of that stuff, your girl don't do that part. I can grow it, but I ain't picking no bugs off, and I ain't spraying that stuff on my food. Okay, high class gardeners. Yes. Uh, good, good, good morning, lit on tap. Glad I caught you live again. Yeah, I'm glad you came in too. It's good to see you. Uh, Remember, remember I said it's good to cry. Cry everywhere at any time. Yeah, I gotta get used. No, I ain't gonna even say I gotta get used to that because I don't want to get used to that. But that's one of those fights I have that I dig my heels in the ground with about is like I could be crying somewhere and let one of my kids or somebody walk in or something while I'm crying. Honey, I'll do everything to wipe everything away so nobody don't know. Like that's me. Like suck it up. Um Crying is a release that's balled up inside. Yes, it absolutely is. I done ended up at the hospital before from trying to not let somebody see me cry. It was almost like it burst a vessel or something in my head trying to fight it. And it felt like having a nervous breakdown or something, which you know, was said. But yeah, go figure you letting somebody see you in the middle of an argument. See you cry. A pimp can't go out like that. No, I'm just joking. You can't let them see you cry. So, I've always been taught though, as a child that crying is a weakness. So, imagine now I'm having to learn as an adult. It's okay. I even have to catch myself at times, saying it to my kids. But I say it, and when I do say it, I catch myself and I turn it into not asking a question as to why are you crying to versus why are you crying, if that makes sense to you. And you have to figure out ways to turn things around because when your mind is trained to do those things, it's what you know how to do until you learn something different. So that is very true, Cassie. I thank you for reminding me of that over there. We're gonna make that a reminder in the chat all the time. I don't mind people coming to me crying. I just don't cry to other people. Um, I do, but there's specific people, and most of the time it's angry tears. I'm fine with being angry and letting tears come out of my eyes. I'm not angry. I'm just expressing myself, and that's the two things that's hard to put together. This is your way to have peace, to not have a heavy heart. Yes, absolutely. I'm tired of having the heavy heart. And I'm also, that reminds me to always give a reminder, and not that I have to explain to anybody, but just in case you come over here thinking that I don't love my mama, I'm still that same old girl from the block that I don't love my mama. Um, I do love my mom, absolutely. My kids, more importantly, love my mom. They have a different relationship, had a different relationship with my mom um, than I did, and I respect that. So those are more people that I've talked to, and let know I'm going to be telling my story about my life. So, they have access to me so they can ask all the questions they want to right here. So, it does, it is definitely helping get rid of the heavy heart. So keep speaking your truth, telling your stories. Keep helping those that also need to hear your story. And again, I like it to be a reminder. I'm telling these stories because there's somebody who's still living their life in this way and thinking that your kid ain't gonna tell the story. People are definitely going to grow up. Children are definitely going to grow up and be able to tell the story. Um, are you going to be willing to stand in what you did? Are you going to admit to, yes, I was wrong and I could have did something different? So, yes, and that's the first thing that I'll do. I'll eat from that plate of being wrong, absolutely. And then later, okay, let's talk about the story, how we got here, especially, a kid see things differently when they when they younger. So, and when you become an adult and then you go back and look at some of those things that you thought your parents was wrong about, they weren't necessarily wrong in some of those things. But if you can say, yeah, let me let me go away from that right there because I'm gonna go into 5,000 other stories right there. Yes, with the high class gardeners over here. um, we ain't touching no bugs. Nope, we ain't touching no bugs over here. Hey, Charlie. Shout out to my moderators over here, making it a safe zone to be able to talk your talk over here. Yes, ma'am. They got the guns up in here. So this is a safe zone, and sometimes I forget to say that, but you know, my is definitely be reminding, that this is a safe zone over here. We talk about things, we push you to higher places. Um, you just ain't seen it yet with our conversations, but there are gonna be great conversations that we gonna have. It's coming in a matter of time. I'm ready to have awesome conversations. I'm ready to have men and women respectfully respecting one another and having these conversations. Um and for it to be a safe zone for both to be able to talk about everything, you know, pertaining to these situations. So I'm excited about where we're about to go over here. Yes, I am. Um, my people be sick of me crying. Lit on tap say her people be sick of her crying. I need to come over there and sit in your chat. Then I can talk. My people be sick of me crying over. Yeah, okay then. I can feel myself all the time when I'm fighting it back to do something. Now the only time that I really, if I'm angry and I'm mad about something, I don't care about crying then. But I'm tired of being angry. I really am. I'm tired of being angry. Anger take away a lot of your energy. I spent a lot of my time being angry. I ain't ready for it no more. I don't want it. But it do seem like when you're trying to get rid of anger and go another way, that's when it be trying to show out then. It really be trying to show out. But I'm gonna get ready to end this live, and it's kind of looking like it's gonna give us some more rain today. and which is gonna be absolutely lovely. Um, I get what you mean. In the grocery stores, everywhere. Crying helps. Crying helps us release all the burdens and the pain. Holding it in hurts. It do hurt, Charlie. Yes, it do. I also don't show my pain to too many people because I want to make others feel happy, not sad. I try to not burden others. Yeah, I don't. When I was a little girl, I went to corners and stuff and cried. So I didn't yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of that. And to be honest, my husband introduced me to like putting band-aids on kids' boo-boos and all of that kind of stuff. Like it I learned that stuff from him. Um I didn't grow up nobody putting no band-aids or nothing on me. So it's like, yeah. Those who understand, understand. I also don't show my pain to too many people because I want to make others feel happy and not sad. Right. You used to be in the shoulder that people lean on. You don't really lean on anybody's shoulder. I didn't have I didn't have a good relationship with my mother either. But I love the fact that she extended herself with her grandkids. Absolutely. That's the same thing I get. And I always tell my kids, and I actually encourage them to, if you ever feel like you want to come on here and you want to tell um who your grandma was to you, I'm fine with doing that. I'm not against that. I'm not here to bash my mama like that. I'm just here to tell the truth so that other people can understand that whatever's happening in these situations, your kids gonna grow up and understand the truth one day of what happened. So, other than that, I would love for them. My mom extended herself to my kids too. I left that alone and let it flourish. Yep. I never try to turn my kids away from my mom. As my firstborn daughter. Um she used to There's a picture of her looking at my mom and the way she got her head turned to the side looking at my mama, and she had to be about 2 months old at the time. The way she was looking at my mama as if my mama was an angel. And those one of my favorite pictures ever. you know, my kids crying around my mom and her being the one to comfort them is the things that make me happy that she was able to do those things with my kids that she didn't with me. um I saw it as her way of repenting for how she treated me and my siblings. Yeah, that absolutely. Absolutely. I see it the same way. Yep, I do. I love that you're coming live more, Tashana. It feels good to step away from the YouTube drama and listen to real life stuff. Yeah, and Cassie, you will be amazed at how um over there listening to drama, because when you grow up into a lot of drama, a lot of chaos happening around you, sometimes that chaos can be the very thing that suck you in, that teach you a lot of stuff. Um, and it have to be the right person with the right intentions that you have to be listening to in the midst of the drama. So, um, I've learned some valuable lessons. That's why I say I don't get involved in the mess. I go over there and listen to the mess, and I get the message out of the mess. And I know, Cassie, if you hanging over there, I know you be getting a whole bunch of messages because I don't really mess with a whole lot of people over there in the area because in that area, but I go and listen to it every now and then. But if I don't find nothing in what they talking about at the moment, nothing that I can apply to my life to push me forward, I can't stick around. But there's a message in the mess. You gotta be looking for it though. um yeah, but I'm working on it, Cassie. Trying to come live more and just have some real conversations. You gotta cry to let it go. uh, I'm working on it. Okay. They want to eat the squirrels today. Alrighty then. You don't live life when you angry. Oh my goodness, spiritual, you ain't never lied. You can't live. And because I used to be so dang on angry, I didn't like to be around no whole bunch of people. But there was a lot of stuff that came along to help break that away. I'm always trying to be the strong one, and sometimes we don't ask for help. Ooh, Charlotte, ooh, you are absolutely correct. You ain't gonna never ask for help. I'm kind of like the one, if I ask somebody to do something and they don't do it the way that I deemed it should be in my mind. I get angry about it. But I've learned to keep my mouth quiet. And if you don't like the way that somebody else do it, then you go and do it the way that you deem is best for it to get done. But what I was taught when I was a little girl was that if stuff is not done the way that you want it done, then you give outrage to the child that does not know how to do it the right way. Or is there the right way? Or you get mad at the child for not doing it the way that you would do it. So, um, yep. The thing is Charlie. When I first started telling these stories, I didn't even think that. I wasn't thinking of my stories helping anybody else. I knew it would help me. I wanted to help somebody, but I didn't think this is not something that people really want to listen to. I just want to talk about. So selfishly, I walked into it just wanting to be able to talk about my stuff, but I never imagined that people would show up and be like, I want to hear what you have to say, especially when you've been used to, you know, not being heard. So, um, so many are going through so much. I know it, and when yeah, there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff, and you know what? A lot of you don't know that the person sitting next to you going through stuff because we refuse to talk to each other. We think, oh, they gonna have one up on us if we tell this, or they gonna have one up on us if we tell that. and you don't even know that the person sitting right next to you going through the same shit that you going through, because don't nobody say nothing. We all interested in, we gonna take it and imagine somebody taking it and saying that it's a read to say that somebody's child. Yeah, I ain't gonna even go into that because that gonna lead down a whole way. It's just something that I've visually seen with my own eyes. Don't have anything to do with the internet, but I can see how it out, and I'm gonna stray away from it because I don't want it to get intertwined with anything else that's going on here. So I'm gonna skip away from that one right there. I'll tell about that story later on when it makes sense. My grandpa was an abusive man, but he treated my son like gold. Yep. Yep, that's the same way that my mom did. My mom did the same thing. She made the she made my first son was everything. It would be times she would come and get him. It would be times she would come and get the oldest son, but she wouldn't want to take the rest of them until one day I was like, had to stand up and like, listen, no one, you can't come and get pics because the rest of my kids are having a fit. If I have to take a day and like bring them around there, and it's like you spend time with them or whatever, we can't keep doing this where you get the pick of you're gonna take one and then there's three others that are here. You can't do that. And so, you know, she took a deep breath and she accepted it, and made a different choice. Yeah, I know y'all can see my mind be going to the, I can visually see all of this stuff happening in my mind. But yeah, yeah, she did a lot of things. She did a lot of extra things for the kids and, spoiled them. Yes. um, I will never take that away from him. He wasn't the best to us grandkids, but he was amazing with my son. Well, that's good to hear that, and he at least redeemed himself in that way. Um, Tanya says my mom was married and had an affair with another married man. Oh, and have not apologized to my brother, and he's dealing with post trauma, past traumas. Whew. Um, Sometimes you won't get an apology. You won't even get an acknowledgement. I mean, and that's just the sad. Um, I never got closure closure like that with my mom or anything. We never talked about any of this stuff. It was just like we did things and we kind of like go, and then it's like after a while I realized that she started relaxing or like backing away from me because I think at a certain point she realized that I done been through enough hell, or either I was getting older and I was beginning to challenge her on the way that she was treating me. So, um, but I never even got an apology about any of those things. But being there at the last moment and holding my mom hand as she was dying, the look in her eyes said that she was sorry. Say that. Deep breath, Shauna. Child, I sure do get the message. Yes, all righty then, Cassie. Get the message. I know you do though. Nobody can be sitting over there and you don't get the message. Even the people who say they don't be getting nothing out of the mess over there, where I'm talking about, I don't believe them when they say they ain't getting nothing out of it. Child. I can't claim I'm not in the mess, lol. I be messy sometimes. Okay then, Charlie. That's all right. And, hey, the truth is knowing the truth about your own self instead of I ain't messy. Nope. You are a remarkable, strong woman. Thank you very much, J Mac. I love hearing your stories. They are a blessing to so many people. And I appreciate being reminded of that. I hope it gives people encouragement that are going through these things right now, or maybe a parent or something putting their kid through some of this stuff, for it to be a second guess for you or a warning before the fall comes. I mean, do something different. You can't keep getting all these warning signs and then ignore them, especially when you asking for the warnings. Take them as they come. Back to work I go. Cassie, you have a good day at work. Thank you again. HCG. All right. Hashtag. Yes, I gotta get on top of that. Thank you, Cassie. um. Yes. Thank you to my mods and everything, y'all. Thank you so much. Yes. Hey, Tashana. How are you, dearest? Hey, Divine Destiny. I'm doing good today. I'm doing very good today. Um, I came in late, but you wonderful. Yes, crying is therapeutic. Yes, it is. It definitely is, but it's not easy when you come from a place where people tell you not to all of the time. All the time. But it has been absolutely great sitting here talking to you all, but I got some other things that I need to do today. And yes, Charlie, how's the garden going, Mrs. Shauna? I'm gonna show y'all that a little bit later because we done progress a lot along the way, and we done paused a lot because it's been raining here almost every day. And I can tell you, I do not complain when it's raining unless I really, really got something that I want to do on the outside. But honey, I love to just lay around. If I could just open the window and just let the rain like splash against the windowsill and just splash me in the face. Or if I just had me a gazebo or something like that in my yard, which I need to get. I need to get me a gazebo so that I would sit outside. Oh, my husband wouldn't like it though, because he need everybody in the house sitting down somewhere. He old school, like when it's raining, when it's lightning, I say, y'all better sit y'all ass down somewhere. So, but I want me a gazebo. I love being in the rain. I love, like the other day, shout out to the ones that came through and supported me as I did the Rain on Me video. I was laying right there next to the phone looking out the window with my phone, listening to every bit of that thunderstorm. Those are such calming times when I'm sitting there listening to the rain. But yeah, thank y'all for coming through and saying I seen every one of you all. I just couldn't type because I was on my phone recording my video. Um, and we gonna do better even with that because I finally ordered me a laptop. It just didn't come on time, so we gonna see what it's gonna be real soon. I'm going to be going live more, and hopefully I'll see you guys more often than usual pretty soon. I will be doing a huge garden next year at our new place. All righty then, Charlie. Let us see what you're gonna be doing, girl. Now, yes, let us see what you're gonna be doing. But I'm gonna show. I'm gonna record and show what's going on with the garden now. I done planted some more things and redoing some things. I actually need to clean out one of my garden beds right now and put some mulch in it so it can stop growing weeds in it. Get on my last nerve. But anyways, the life of a high class gardener. Yes. um yes. Many hugs, Mr. Shauna. I hope you have a great day. Same to you, Charlie. Thank you again. Um, Giving you your flowers. Thank you so much, J Mac. Thank you. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day and encourage somebody today. High class gardeners over here. See y'all next time.